Pat does it better than anybody in the league. When adversity hits, his level of play goes up.
Patrick Mahomes, touchdown!
We're a complete football team that just finds ways to win.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on into First Take on this Friday. We have a lot to talk about today heading into a big weekend in the NFL. I'm Charlie Arnold. We got Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman here. And Stephen A., you already broke the news, but we're going to get into a little more detail. That's right. Breaking news to start off First Take. This, according to Adam Schefter. Drew Brees will start this weekend against the Chiefs. And as we all know, Brees has not played since Week 10 because of a rib injury. He was activated off IR this week. He has been practicing, and now it is confirmed he will be starting against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So, Stephen A., I'm going to start with you here. Do you think that the Saints are making the right decision here?
You're damn right they're making the right decision. He's Drew Brees. What else is there to talk about? He's Drew Brees. You're damn right they're making the right decision. Make no mistake about it. I know he's over 40 years of age, Max. I know there's a lot of dust being collected on that birth certificate. I know all of those things, Max Kellerman, but I will tell you this in the end. Here's what it comes down to. You roll the dice. You take the chance. He's coming back. You can always reinsert Taysom Hill. He knows he's the backup to Drew Brees. You can always throw those packages in play because it's Sean Payton, his experience with Drew Brees, the number of years they've been working together. He knows what adjustments may need to be made and what have you. You throw Drew Brees in there. This is it for him. This is possibly his swan song. He's got an opportunity to go up against Patrick Mahomes. You can't deny Drew Brees that opportunity. Last time we saw him, he was complete 73% of his passes, 18 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions on the season, a quarterback rating of 110 for crying out loud. He's Drew freaking Brees. You throw him in there. Do I have some trepidation? Maybe a little bit, but damn it, that's what I'll go with, Max. Yeah, you play him.
This is a bold move by the Saints. It's a bold move because I know people think, well, the way you want to beat Mahomes is ball control. In fact, you have a better chance beating the Chiefs in a shootout than you have in any other kind of game. And you have a guy on the roster in Jameis Winston who can win shootouts. Even though he gave the other team 112 points last year when he was on the Bucs, that's why Tom Brady took over, right? That's an upgrade. Just don't turn the ball over. And he threw those 30 interceptions. He did lead the league in yards and throw 33 touchdowns. So Jameis actually, in a strange way, gives you a chance to win that game. And Taysom Hill ain't bad. The fact that they're going with Drew Brees tells you a lot. You mentioned his swan song, Stephen A. The man is 40 years old, coming back from 11,000 fractured ribs and a lung and I mean, to insert him now tells you how big the Saints see this game. It's not just that he needs a little runway before the playoffs, because the Saints are legit Super Bowl threats this year. This may be the best overall team that Brees has been on since the Super Bowl team. Both sides of the ball. It's not just that. It's that when you look at the Saints and you look at the Packers, there's only one bye in each conference this season. Only one team gets a bye. And the Saints looked like it was going to be them, but the Packers are hot on their tail. And when you think about the Saints at home, it's one thing to say they play better at home in a dome, climate controlled. That's true. And they'd have a disadvantage on the road. Without fans, maybe that's not quite what it would normally be in most circumstances. But Stephen A., the frozen tundra in the winter. I mean, not only do the Saints want that bye, but the Saints don't want to have to go to Green Bay, don't want to have to go to Lambeau Field to get out of the NFC. This tells you how big a game this is for Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and the Saints. And this is a bold and gutsy move to start him now instead of giving him a little more time to rest up for the playoffs.
It's a bold and gutsy move, Max, but are you saying it's the right call or not?
It is the right call. If he can go, they got to play him. This is a huge game because of what I just mentioned.
Okay. All right. I understand.
Okay, well,
Max,
both of you excited to see.
You're agreeing with me in this particular situation. You're showing that your football knowledge is elevating, my brother. Way to go. Way to go. You start off the show, even though we normally disagree, you're siding with me. Smart move to start off this Friday. We could go on, Charlie.
All right. Well, we know Patrick Mahomes is excited. He already said earlier this week he was just a bit disappointed if Drew Brees wasn't going to.
Again, not being privy to all of the information that Sean Payton has, mainly exactly what the doctors are saying and exactly how Brees is looking. But knowing what you know, if it was your decision, who would be the starting quarterback on Sunday?
Well, first of all, it's all about Drew Brees' health, right? You want Drew Brees to be at 100%. And if Drew Brees is at 100%, if he can function, if he can protect himself, if he can play the game that we're used to seeing Drew Brees play in 2020, Drew Brees is the starter. And I don't think you really think about it. I think it's a no-brainer. One, he's a future Hall of Famer that if he wants to play and the doctors give him the okay, you allow him to play. And let's remember, the only reason Drew Brees comes out of the game against the San Francisco 49ers after leading a drive for a touchdown, after suffering the injury, is because he told Sean Payton he couldn't go anymore. So obviously they want him out there if he can be. This team needs the #1 seed, and not because things have to go through New Orleans and it's hard to win there, but because you don't want this Drew Brees to have to play in Green Bay in those weather conditions against Aaron Rodgers. You want to be able to play in the conditions you control, which is the Superdome.
Yeah, again, I will remind everyone of exactly what it looks like when you play a conference championship game in Lambeau Field. What Lambeau, the perfect illustration of that is the face of Tom Coughlin. Can we put that up, Kalen? Again, we had it yesterday. That is what it looks like. That is the perfect illustration of playing a game at Lambeau Field in January. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. That one is worth 1,000,000 words. And Rob Ninkovich, you were making that point, right? That if Drew Brees is going to get himself back to a Super Bowl again, he's probably going to have a hard time doing it if he's not doing it in his own building.
Yeah, the last time I checked, the thermostat in the Superdome set at 70 degrees, which is pretty nice with zero wind. So the Saints, they need that number one seed so they can have that home field advantage. You don't want Drew Brees going up to Lambeau trying to throw a spiral through a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind with negative temperatures. You don't want that. So in this matchup, Saints versus KC, they're going to have Drew Brees out there. I think if he does come back, you could do some type of platooning where Taysom is the guy and then Drew comes in on gotta-have-it plays where you're throwing the ball down the field, because when you're preparing those two guys, it's two different call sheets defensively. So it's going to be a tall task for Kansas City if they do not know who the starting quarterback's going to be.
Bart, you see it differently. Tell me why.
Yeah, just like my mom when I used to play with my BB guns. Yo, you guys better stop until somebody puts an eye out. Listen, it's all fun and games for somebody asking barbecue sauce and the ribs for Drew Brees.
All right, Ralphie.
And it's all fun and games. And I know he feels healthy and he feels well. But if somebody hurts him, all your chances of winning the Super Bowl is out the window. This isn't the same typical New Orleans Saints football team. This is a tough football team led by their defense. And I think that they can go on, and that travels every single place you go. Who's to say that they're going to end up in Lambeau? If they're the top two seeds, listen, Green Bay is a team that can easily be picked off with the lack of defense that they have there. I believe that, you should go with Jameis Winston and see what he has. At the end of the day, you still have Minnesota. You have the Panthers. Those are homecoming games. You're going to be 12-4. You can beat anybody. Don't put Drew Brees at risk. Protect him from himself.
It is possible that we will get that news at some point before we go off the air today. We will certainly keep an ear to the ground. Guys, stay